Hey everyone, welcome back to Skill School. I'm ScytherGreen from Server 73, and today's episode is a viewer request from Amaterastu 8000. We're taking a look at the epic skill Berserker. This skill is all about losing your cool in the best way possible. It's made for players who want to charge headfirst into battle and turn their immortal into a full-time wrecking machine. But there's a reason it's called Berserker. The power comes with serious trade-offs. And if you're not careful, it can make your plan go berserk just as easily as it can win you a fight. Let's see what makes this skill so risky and why some players swear by it anyway. Berserker is a passive skill, which means it's always active once equipped. There's no conditions or cooldowns to trigger it. From the start of the battle, your immortal immediately gains a permanent boost to both physical damage and attack speed. At level 1, Berserker increases physical damage and attack speed by 7.5%. Each upgrade adds another 2.5% until both reach 25% at level 8. These bonuses apply for the entire duration of the fight, giving your immortal a steady and reliable increase in offensive power. The main drawback is that your energy regeneration speed is reduced by 75%. This means ultimates charge much slower, making Berserker incompatible with immortals who rely on frequent energy cycles. Also, Berserker completely disables any equipped trigger-type skills. Trigger skills are those that activate automatically when a condition is met, such as Blade Vortex or Spear Impale. While Berserker is active, those skills will not activate at all. Because of these restrictions, Berserker is most effective on immortals who rely purely on normal attacks and passive bonuses. It rewards aggressive playstyles focused on constant physical pressure rather than timing or reaction-based skills. Now that we know what it does in battle, let's look at how to unlock it and what it'll cost you. It unlocks when your Tower of Knowledge reaches level 41 and costs 60 ability stones. You can buy ability stones from either the Legion of Frostborn shop or the Triss shop. Once unlocked, Berserker uses soul crystals for upgrades. Each level costs more than the last, so the total adds up quickly. Taking it from level 1 all the way to level 8 requires 60 Berserker ability stones and 143,400 soul crystals in total. That makes Berserker one of the more expensive epic skills to fully upgrade, but its consistent boosts to damage and speed can make the investment worthwhile if it fits your lineup. I've put the full upgrade path on screen so you can see exactly how the cost scales and plan your soul crystal spending before committing to it. Now that you know what it takes to max it out, let's talk about who actually makes the best use of it. Berserker works best on immortals who rely heavily on normal attacks and constant physical damage. Since it also comes with an energy regeneration penalty, you need immortals who can keep up their offense without relying on triggering their ultimates. Basically, there are only two options: Alexander the Great and Hannibal Barca. Alex is practically built for Berserker. His ultimate skill, Eternal Conquest, increases both normal attack damage and attack speed. When his exclusive artifact is equipped, that skill becomes passive, meaning he doesn't rely on energy at all. He fights with constant boosts to damage, attack speed, and control immunity from start to finish, completely ignoring Berserker's energy penalty. That means he's already designed to fight without relying on energy or trigger skills, making Berserker a perfect fit. The combined passive stack to create one of the fastest and most aggressive damage dealers in the game, with no downtime or dependence on ultimates. Hannibal Barca also benefits greatly from Berserker, especially once his exclusive artifact is unlocked. His ultimate, Howling Blast, increases damage and adds cleave, letting each normal attack hit an extra nearby target. With his artifact, that effect becomes passive for the whole battle. Like Alex, Hannibal no longer relies on energy once his artifact is equipped, so Berserker's reduced energy regeneration has no downside. The constant cleave effect means his boosted attack speed translates directly into more total hits and more consistent damage output. However, both immortals need their exclusive artifacts to make Berserker truly shine. Without them, the slow energy recovery limits their ultimate usage and weakens their overall performance. But with the artifacts equipped, Berserker becomes one of the most efficient damage multipliers they can use. Now that we've covered which immortals fit it best, let's look at which other skills can help bring out its full potential. Because Berserker disables all trigger-type skills, your pairing choices need to focus entirely on passive options that boost normal attack performance or overall physical output. The goal is to amplify your damage while keeping your immortal fully functional without any procs or activations. A perfect partner is Cleave. It gives every normal attack a 75% chance to deal extra physical damage to 2 nearby enemies. Since Berserker greatly increases attack speed, you generate more attacks per second, which means Cleave activates more often and spreads damage across the field. Together, they create constant area pressure that scales beautifully with speed buffs. Assembly Charge is another strong option. It allows each normal attack to deal damage to the target and 2 nearby enemies, while also giving a short physical damage bonus for 6 seconds. Even though its activation chance is 60%, it counts as a passive damage trigger, not a true trigger-type skill, so it works fine alongside Berserker. When combined, you gain both raw attack speed and area coverage, turning your frontline immortal into a fast cleaving powerhouse. A less obvious but highly effective pairing is Battle Stance. It starts slow, reducing your damage and blocking energy gain for the first 20 seconds, but once it activates, it gives a 100% damage increase and faster energy regeneration for the rest of the fight. The delay lines up well with Berserker's design, since Berserker users rely more on sustained physical damage than early bursts. After the first 20 seconds, the combination of Berserker's permanent speed and damage buffs with Battle Stance's huge late-game boost makes one of the strongest power curves in a game. When building around Berserker, avoid anything with the trigger-type tag, such as Blade Vortex, Spear Impale, or Lightning Strike. These will never activate while Berserker's equipped and waste valuable slots. Stick to consistent passives that amplify your normal attacks or increase your damage over time. So, how do you know it's working? Berserker doesn't show up in battle reports or under skill composition, so the only way to measure its impact is through direct comparison tests using the same immortal and enemy setup. In this example, Alexander fought the same opponent twice. The first test used Cleave and Assembly Charge, the second used the same setup with Berserker added. In both fights, Alexander performed 12 normal attacks. This shows that Berserker doesn't change the number of attack animations or shorten attack intervals enough to add extra swings in short battles. What it does change is the power behind each hit. Normal attack damage jumped from 11.6 million to 16.6 million, even though the number of attacks stayed the same and the total battle time was slightly shorter. This confirms that Berserker's damage bonus applies directly to every hit, boosting output without altering attack count. Because Berserker's attack speed buff stacks with skills like Cleave and Assembly Charge, its real strength appears over longer fights or with immortals whose damage scales with physical multipliers. In short tests like this, the difference shows up through harder hits rather than faster swings. With all that considered, where does it land on the skill school tier list? I give it a solid C placement. It has a strong effect on paper, but in practice it is very limited. The 75% energy reduction and the block on trigger-type skills make it usable only by a small number of immortals. In reality, Alexander the Great and Hannibal Barca are the only two who can use Berserker effectively, and even they need their exclusive artifacts equipped for it to work properly. Without those artifacts, both lose access to their ultimates for most of the fight, which cancels out much of the benefit from Berserker's raw stats. With the artifacts active, Berserker becomes usable, but it still competes against more flexible options like Wind Rage, Cleave, or Assembly Charge. These skills provide consistent results without the same restrictions. It also comes with a steep investment cost, meaning 60 ability stones to unlock and over 140,000 soul crystals to max, which is difficult to justify for such a specialized skill. Berserker offers strong damage when used in the right setup, but its narrow usability and high cost hold it back. For most players, it's better to invest in passives that work across multiple builds, rather than one that disables a large part of your skill set. And to really sum up Berserker, it's all about trade-offs. It pushes your damage to new heights, but at the cost of flexibility. It's great when everything around it is built to support its one purpose, which is fast, relentless physical pressure. For most players, it's not a must-have, but for those who enjoy testing extremes or running full passive setups, it can be a rewarding skill to experiment with. It's a reminder that not every powerful effect fits every lineup, and sometimes the strongest results come from understanding exactly when not to use a skill. Now I want to hear from you. Have you tested Berserker yourself, and how did it perform in your team? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. If you found this helpful, give it a like, hit subscribe, and stay tuned for more Skill School. Thank you for watching, and as always, see you in Norheim.